In Cambodian folklore, you're never supposed to grow a banana tree next to your house or close to your window because an urban legend says there's a spirit that haunts the tree, and if you hurt it in any kind of way, it will come and you. Let's get to the intro. Hi, witches. Happy Witchy Wednesdays. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. I hope you're doing okay. I hope March was treating you good because April it's going to be a lot of hot mess. I don't know about you, but March for me was very just, I was sailing through, just sailing through. I hope you guys were sailing through because April is going to be crazy. We have a lot of planetary alignments going on. Yes, the solar eclipse is happening, but it's in a new moon, also with Saturn in conjunction. It's going to be a lot of things firing up with the Mercury retrograde, which is a couple days ago. I hope you guys did not see your exes. This video is going to be about Cambodian ghost stories called Nam Chek. Today's Witchy Wednesdays video is about Cambodia's ghost story. Now, there's an urban legend that dates back after like the BC, before like those kings and queen eras, when they're wearing those gowns. Now, Cambodia is located in the Southeast Asia where their country is called Cambodia. I'm Cambodian. So, oh my God, you guys, Cambodian New Year's is coming up. So Cambodian New Year's starts on April 12th to April 16th. It depends. It's usually like 2 weeks within a weekend. I'm doing this video perfect timing. With this story, I'm excited to talk about it, but there is more to the ghost story than I thought it was. The story that I knew was that you're not supposed to bury a banana tree next to your house. You're supposed to bury it like at the end of the road because there's an urban legend that states a ghost where she lives or haunts in banana trees can climb through your window and haunt you and you. But I was doing research and I found out that there's a fourth story to it and I did not know. Ghost on a large banana tree. There's an old saying that ancient Cambodian people had belief about, often told their descendants not to grow chekchia, banana in Cambodian, a kind of large banana tree adjacent to the end of the house of it because it was believed that this might bring bad luck to the owner of the house. The belief was derived from the following story. Long time ago, there lived a poor family who were farmers. One day, during a drought, there was no water or rain for farming. The man then decided to leave his wife to work as a laborer in a faraway village. After the husband left, there was an epidemic of cholera in the village where his wife lived. This outbreak made the villagers very frightened. At the beginning, only small animals were infected with the disease, but later on, it spread out to big animals and then to human beings, killing serious of them. No one was able to help other ones. Each house was so quiet. In the night, only the sound of dogs howling was heard, and the gentle light of kerosene lamps were seen in the sparse places, causing everyone to have goose dimples on their skin just to think of it. In some villages, where the disease had not yet been spread to the people and animals, the villagers in those remote areas were scared to earn their living as usual. They were very upset and quiet, only whispered to each other, not dared to talk loudly or to think of where the incident happened. One day, while the disease was spreading out fiercely, there was a generous person coming to invite a Buddhist monk to recite a protective prayer at his home. When it was time to take the monks, he came to get a senior monk and two ordinary monks. When the monks arrived at his home, there were many guests. The three monks were invited to come in onto the house and sat on good seats. And then they were traditionally offered drinks, teas, sugars, cigarettes. After that, the people did a recitation as a respect for the three jewels, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And then it was the monk's turn to recite a protective prayer. But the layman said, "Would you please not recite Dhamma or Karanye?" I can't pronounce that. To frighten the spiritual evil, was skipped to recite the Dhamma of Pravak right away in order to save them. Oh, save time. The monks started to recite the prayer, protect the prayer from the beginning as requested by the layman, skipping the Dhamma of Karanye and moving to the Dhamma of Pravak. Suddenly, the monks noticed that all generous people were pleased and laughed happily. They have asked us not to recite Dhamma of Krani and requested us to move right to the Dhamma of Pravak, but why they turned laughing, it is very odd, doubted the senior monk on the first seat. He was very ashamed and worried that he would be criticized of this mistake, so he went back to the Dhamma. No sooner had the monks recited few words than all the generous people suddenly left one by one until the place was empty. Then the candle flame went out immediately. The house where the monks were staying became the thickest dens of bamboo, whereas the cigarettes, tea, and sugar turned out to be charcoal, sand, and chopped wood. Oh, it was like an illusion. At this moment, the monks realized that the ghosts had transformed themselves as humans to invite them. Until the layman and laywoman at the Baghdad knew this, the three monks had no food to eat for nearly 3 days. That's the image. Therefore, it has been said that the Dhamma Agrani makes ghosts very scared, while the Dhamma Pravak makes them happy. When the villagers were attacked by the disease, such as cholera, plague, and so on, the villagers always invited monks to recite the protective prayer and requested them to recite Dhamma 7 to 8 times and not to recite the Dhamma Pravak, since there was a story narrative above. Besides, people in the ancient times believed that when they needed to go somewhere in the night, if they had goosebumps, they had to recite the Granyi, believing that the ghost would not haunt them, but rather the ghost would be afraid of Granyi very much. Talking about the man who went to work as laborer, after he earned enough money, he returned home. On halfway, he was told, "You can't go to your village now, since the people there are infected with Clara and many of them have died. We don't know whether your children and your wife are still alive or not because no one is encouraged to go to the village." Because the man missed his wife and children, he stubbornly walked into his home. He hastened back to his home in the night. When he arrived near his house, he saw the dim light and a eerie oh light in a every house. He was very happy and came up with the feeling of anger towards the villagers who had told him a lie. But he felt a slight doubtful on the way home for the unusual quietness. He suggested that there might be something happening to the villagers. Reaching the fence of his home, he called for his wife. At the moment, he saw his wife coming to welcome him warmly as usual. There seemed nothing to be suspicious. That woman hurried to set a fire to cook rice for her husband, but told her husband not to enter the bedroom, asking him to sleep outside. The husband suspected his wife's strange behavior, since he saw her eyes became big, came out in a reddish way, and moved up and down. An unpleasant smell of corpse came from the bedroom. He was very curious to see something in the bedroom because his wife banned him from entry. Thinking of everything, he always sat nothing at his wife's behavior. Few minutes later, he saw her sticking her tongue out to pick up the ladle, dropping down to the ground. Seeing this, he realized that she must be a ghost pretending to be a human, and therefore he remembered what the people had told him on the way home. The man crept into the bedroom and suddenly saw the decaying flesh of the corpse of his wife and children. He went out and sought the way to escape from the ghost. "Please cook the rice quickly," he said to her. "I am very hungry." I go urinate for a moment. Then he poked a small hole in a clay pot in order to pour the water onto the palm trees. It sounded as if the man was urinating. Smart. Then he ran as fast as he could towards a bikra where lived a monk who was good at magically repressing the evils. The ghost, hearing her husband urinating too long, then walked to see him. As soon as he saw her husband passing through, she chased him very fast, almost reaching him. When the husband turned back and saw his wife chasing him quickly, he thought that he could not escape from the ghost, so he climbed up by a bay tree, a kind of tree believed to be effective in protecting people from ghost hunting. Uh, I'm going to bury one. Well, I'm going to plant one nearby him. The ghost dared not to go by the baymat tree. She walked around it and called out her husband to come. The man thought that the ghost might be afraid of the baymat tree, so she did not come near it. He punched a branch of baymat tree, carried it on his shoulder, and walked towards Bikram. Due to the effective baymat branch, the ghost was afraid to go near the husband, but still she walked after him. When the man arrived at the Bikra, he went to stay in the middle of the crowd of the monks who were reciting and preaching the 8 virtues in the temple and told the monks what had happened to him. At that moment, the master of the Buddhist monks, who was good at using incantation, let the man stay in his building and actively cast a spell around it to prevent the ghost from entering. The ghost would never went anywhere far from that building, even though she could not follow her husband into the building because of the incantation. She walked back and forth, exploring any way to reach her husband. Near the master's building was a large banana tree, with its branch bowing into its window. Very powerful, though, was the spell. It could not be stronger than the large banana tree. The spell could have had the spell could have its power only where the branch could not reach the building. But the place touched by the branch was the only way for the ghost to enter the building. The ghost climbed up the large banana tree and went through its branch onto the building and cruelly broke her husband's neck to death right at that moment. Because there was such a narrative, the ancient Cambodian people generally believed and banned their descendants from growing the large banana trees adjacent to the end pieces of the house roofs because it could bring bad luck to them. As for the bay mat trees, they have become a good medicine to prevent evil or ghosts up to now. The end. Holy, what did you guys think about that story? Do you think it was creepy? Yeah, I'm sorry I stumbled upon words, but you got to realize I'm reading something that I don't know about. I know, my first time I don't know about. And it's usually hard for me because when I'm doing research, it usually clicks in my mind. But since I don't know nothing about the banana tree, I'll just, oh my God, like I'm learning right now as much as you guys are learning, you know? So don't judge me. The story that I was told by my parents was that a ghost was haunting a banana tree, and within that banana tree, you're never supposed to build or grow one next to your house or even close to your window because the ghost can go on top of the leaves and climb to your house and you. And so you're supposed to bury it like far away at the end of the road and not close to your house because that's how the ghost can haunt you. I've seen a lot of movies where I'll put link in the description box so you guys can check it out also with the other affiliated links. I've seen videos in movies of like the ghosts, they're like green face and they're haunting the area. The story goes to that she was also SA'd when she was walking home late at night, and now she's hunting men who betray their wife or are doing nasty things to women. So y'all be careful because she's gonna get you. And if you're watching my video, that's nasty. If you're essaying anybody, let's go back to the story. Off topic, during the Cambodian rituals like funerals, they would take banana trees and make coffins out of them. I don't know what it's called, but I'm gonna put a picture there. They use the banana tree, like the trunks, and they would cut it up and make it into like a coffin and bury them. And with the leaves, they use it too because banana represents what's the word I'm looking for? harmony, peace, but also it's fading, because banana, when it decays, it becomes smushy. So that represents like the human body. I don't want to make it sound like that, but that's what I was reading. The banana tree is supposed to keep the body in there preserved. That's why, in like my parents, they have old photo albums. I would see great grandfathers. They were laying in there, and then with the you can see the yellow and green banana trees, and I was like, what? Like, I didn't think nothing about it until now, and I was like, oh my god, those are banana trees. They were buried in them, and it was very, very well preserved. And then my brother, Hong, brother, I know you're watching this. Let me know if this is true, because I want to know. When you were growing up in Cambodia, was the banana tree being used to bury the bodies when the elders were passed away? And then was that really what it represented? Like, the banana tree would keep the body well preserved, that they wouldn't decay as fast? I just want to know, because you know more about Cambodians' life stories. I should have asked you, huh? Okay, brother, I'll call you after this video. The moral of the story is, do not build a banana tree around your house, because the haunting of the lady that lives in banana tree can get you. So be careful out there. I can't tell you to call the cops today, because you can't arrest a spirit. Sorry, no pun intended. I did not know there was going to be a full story behind this, because for me, I was told the ghost stories by my parents. When your parents tell you ghost stories, they're just trying to scare you, but there's also a real myth to it. And my parents are very old fashioned. They were born in Cambodia area. I don't know where, but they were born in the Cambodia country, in Cambodia, or Phnom Penh is the capital city. And they know ghost stories from their generation that's been passed on. When my mom told me, yeah. Have your parents ever told you ghost stories? I'm pretty sure they told you ghost stories, like, or urban legends. Like this one where my parents tell me never eat on the floor because you would turn into an alligator. And it makes sense, because it made you sluggish. It made you want to lay there and not do anything, just to eat, you know? Well, let me know what you guys think about it. Let me know what you guys want me to talk about next week. Happy Cambodian New Year's to all my Cambodian fellows. TLC, Thai, Laos, Cambodian, and Vietnamese. I don't know if Vietnamese have their New Year's with us too. I don't. Off topic. I don't go to Cambodia New Year's because I see everybody every day here, and I'm originally from Stockton, but I moved to Clovis, California, and for some reason they end up following, and I see them and I'm like hi, or they see me, they're like hi, but I'm like hi, go away. But blessed be my witches and Wiccan, and have a good day, good night, good morning, good evening. Do not call the cops, because you can't arrest a ghost. Bye, witches. I'll see you next week on Witchy Wednesdays.